Breaking news is sending shockwaves through immigrant communities across the United States. Is the FBI now stepping into immigration case reviews alongside USCIS? Reports, internal discussions, and policy whispers circulating in 2026 suggest a possible shift in how immigration files are being monitored, verified, and even cross-checked with federal law enforcement databases in ways we've never seen before. For years, USCIS has operated as a civil immigration authority focused on petitions, green cards, asylum claims, and citizenship applications. But now, questions are emerging about whether intelligence and law enforcement agencies could be playing a deeper role in background screening, fraud detection, and national security vetting. What does this actually mean for green card holders, visa applicants, and families waiting for approvals? Could routine applications suddenly face stricter scrutiny, longer delays, or expanded security checks? And more importantly, is this a temporary policy adjustment or the beginning of a long-term restructuring of the U.S. immigration system? In today's video, we break down everything we know, what officials are hinting at, what remains unconfirmed, and how these changes could potentially impact millions of immigration cases already in the pipeline. Some are calling it a necessary security upgrade, while others fear it could create unprecedented delays and uncertainty for applicants worldwide. Stay with us as we uncover the full picture behind these alleged USCIS changes and the FBI's possible involvement, because what you're about to hear could directly affect your future, your family, or someone you know. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video right now so you don't miss critical updates as this story develops. What we are witnessing right now in 2026 is not just another routine policy update from the United States immigration system. It feels different. It sounds different. And for millions of people who are either inside the immigration process or planning to enter it, it raises one central question that cannot be ignored. Is the system becoming more secure, or is it becoming more complex and unpredictable than ever before? To understand why this conversation is gaining momentum, we need to look at how immigration processing has traditionally worked in the United States. USCIS, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, has always been the civil authority responsible for handling immigration petitions. Their job has been to review applications, verify documents, conduct background checks, and make decisions on visas, green cards, asylum requests, and citizenship applications. While USCIS has always worked alongside other agencies for security screening, the process has historically remained structured, administrative, and primarily civil in nature. The FBI, on the other hand, is a federal law enforcement and intelligence agency. Its core mission revolves around national security, counterterrorism, cybercrime, and federal criminal investigations. While the FBI has always contributed data and background information to immigration vetting systems, it has not traditionally been directly involved in reviewing individual immigration cases in a hands-on or case-by-case administrative capacity. But what's changing now, at least according to emerging reports, internal discussions, and policy signals being analyzed by immigration experts, is the possibility of a deeper integration between law enforcement databases and immigration adjudication processes. This is where concerns, confusion, and speculation begin to grow. Some policy analysts suggest that the United States is moving toward a more centralized security screening model, where immigration applications are not only evaluated for eligibility and documentation accuracy, but also cross-referenced in real time with expanded law enforcement intelligence systems. This would not necessarily mean that the FBI is deciding immigration cases, but rather that their data systems and analytical tools could be more directly influencing how USCIS officers assess risk factors in applications. For applicants, this kind of shift can feel invisible at first. There is no single form or announcement that clearly states your case is now being reviewed by the FBI. Instead, the changes would appear in the form of longer processing times, more frequent background check delays, additional requests for evidence, and stricter scrutiny of travel history, digital records, and identity verification details. This is where the anxiety begins to build. People waiting for green cards or work visas often operate on timelines that are already uncertain. Even small increases in processing time can affect jobs, education plans, family reunifications, and long-term financial stability. So, when rumors of enhanced federal screening begin to circulate, they naturally create concern, even before any official confirmation is provided. At the same time, supporters of stronger security integration argue that the modern immigration system must evolve. In a world where identity fraud, document forgery, cyber threats, and international security risks have become more sophisticated, they believe that immigration processing cannot remain isolated from broader intelligence systems. From this perspective, closer coordination between USCIS and federal law enforcement agencies is not only logical, but necessary. They argue that if the goal is to ensure that individuals entering or remaining in the country are properly vetted, then access to comprehensive law enforcement databases can improve accuracy and reduce the risk of errors. In their view, this is not about increasing difficulty, it is about increasing precision. However, critics of this direction raise important concerns about transparency, fairness, and efficiency. One of the biggest fears is that increased reliance on security databases could lead to overscreening, where applicants with no criminal background are still delayed due to algorithmic flags, data mismatches, or outdated records. Another concern is the lack of clarity in how decisions are influenced when multiple agencies contribute to the evaluation process. Immigration attorneys have also pointed out that even small procedural changes can have large real-world consequences. If additional verification layers are introduced without clear communication, applicants may not understand why their case is delayed or what exactly is being reviewed. This uncertainty can make an already complex system feel even more unpredictable. Another dimension of this issue involves technology. Modern immigration systems increasingly rely on automated background checks, biometric data, and digital identity verification tools. If law enforcement databases are integrated more deeply into these systems, the volume of data being analyzed increases dramatically. While this can improve detection of fraud or security risks, it also raises questions about data accuracy and error correction. Imagine a scenario where a name match or outdated record triggers a security flag. Even if the issue is eventually resolved, the applicant may experience months of delay while the system clears the discrepancy. In a system processing millions of applications, even a small percentage of such cases can create significant bottlenecks. This is why the conversation around FBI involvement in immigration cases is so sensitive. It is not necessarily about direct decision-making authority. Instead, it is about influence. How much weight security data carries in shaping immigration outcomes, and how visible that process is to the people affected by it. So what does all of this mean for the average applicant in 2026? First, it means awareness is more important than ever. Understanding that background checks may involve multiple layers of federal databases can help set realistic expectations about processing times. Second, it highlights the importance of accuracy in applications. Even small inconsistencies in names, dates, or travel history can trigger additional scrutiny when systems are tightly integrated. And third, it reinforces the need to stay updated with official USCIS announcements rather than relying solely on speculation or social media interpretations. It is also important to emphasize that, as of now, there is no confirmed public policy stating that the FBI is directly adjudicating immigration cases. Much of the current discussion is based on observed procedural changes, expert interpretation, and evolving security practices. However, the direction of travel is clear. Immigration screening in the United States is becoming more interconnected with broader federal security infrastructure. Historically, immigration systems have always evolved in response to global events, security concerns, and technological advancements. After major security incidents in the past, screening procedures were strengthened. After fraud cases were identified, verification processes were tightened, and as digital systems advanced, data sharing between agencies naturally increased. What we are potentially seeing now is the next phase of that evolution, a system where immigration processing and national security databases are more closely aligned than ever before. Whether this leads to better outcomes or greater complexity will depend on how it is implemented, regulated, and communicated to the public. For now, the most important takeaway is not panic, but awareness. Immigration systems are changing, but change does not always mean disruption. In many cases, it means adaptation to new realities. The challenge is ensuring that security improvements do not come at the cost of fairness, transparency, and efficiency for the people whose lives depend on these decisions. As this story continues to develop, one thing is certain. The relationship between immigration processing and federal security agencies is becoming one of the most closely watched aspects of U.S. policy in 2026, and for millions of applicants around the world, every update matters. We will continue monitoring these developments closely, and as always, staying informed is the most powerful tool you have in navigating an evolving immigration system.